Salutation everyone! Introducing, my name is Zia from 8 Descartes. So today, I have a biology assessment where I'm gonna talk about respiratory. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, we have 4 main subjects that we're gonna talk about. First is definition. So what actually is the respiratory system? So respiratory system is a biological system of organs and tissues that work together to help you breathe. So its main function is to transport oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Our second main topic is talking about the organs of respiratory system. So what is our respiratory organs? So first we have our nose and mouth. That's where the air comes into our body. So we breathe in and sometimes we could use our mouth to breathe in too. But usually, of course commonly, with our nose. And inside our nose we have nasal cavity. And after the air passed through the nasal cavity, it will went into our pharynx behind our larynx. So after it went, before that, larynx is actually the passageway from our mouth. After that, after we pass into our pharynx, we have our trachea, where it leads into our lungs. So we have 2 lungs, where our left lungs only have 2 lobes, and the right lung only have 3 lobes. Why do we only have 2 lobes at the left one? It's because we have a heart, and our heart is a little bit to our left, where it makes our left lung only have 2 lobes. Now let's get into our respiratory system, where we already managed to get into our lungs. So before that, we have a bronchus, where from our trachea, the passageway of air divided into 2. And right here, that's called the bronchus. After that, after it gets into the primary bronchus, we have the secondary bronchus, which is a little bit more smaller. And then we have the tertiary bronchi or bronchus, which is getting more smaller, and at the edge there is the bronchioles. That is the smallest part of the bronchus. And of course, at the smallest part of there's like circled stuff like a grape, which is called alveoli. And that is the organ where our gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide happens. And for that part, I'm gonna talk at inhale and exhale part. And that's all for our organs. So to recap, we have our nose and mouth, and then nasal cavity, and then pharynx and larynx, and then the trachea, and then the bronchus, and then the 3 parts were primary, secondary, and tertiary bronchi, and then the bronchioles, and then the alveoli. And of course, all of that happens because of our muscle helps our respiratory system, where the muscles that help us is called the diaphragm. It's right at the bottom of the lungs over here. And next we're gonna talk about the inhale and exhale and how it works. Next, how does our inhale work? So when you inhale, breathe in, your diaphragm muscle contracts and moves downward, creating space in your chest cavity, which causes air to be pulled into your lungs. And when that happens, when air gets into your lungs, of course it went past to your bronchus, and then primary bronchus, secondary, tertiary bronchus, and then into your bronchioles. And after into your bronchioles, into your alveoli, and where the gas exchange happens. So the oxygens gets inside the alveoli, where our alveoli get surrounded by our blood vessels. So the oxygens, when it hits the alveoli wall, it gets transferred into with the carbon dioxide. So they like took place, turn around, the carbon dioxide into the alveoli and oxygens into the blood vessels. And after that, after the carbon dioxide gets into alveoli, we exhale. When we exhale, your diaphragms relax, reducing the chest cavity size and pushing air back out through your nose or mouth. And when that happens, the air that comes out from your nose and mouth are carbon dioxide. And that's how inhale and exhale works. And that's all for our respiratory system explanation. I'm really sorry if I have a mistakes. And thank you all for listening. Once again, my name is Zia from 8 Descartes. Thank you guys!